This is Jeff Cowan coming to you from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk with my weekly podcast entitled Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, the path to making $100,000 a year or more writing service. Because at this filming, 20% of the people out there right now performing this job are making $100,000 or more, meaning 80% of you are not. So how do you get to 100,000? Keep listening to me. I've got the techniques, the word tracks, and the processes to get you to that type of income. If you're already at that type of income, keep listening. I'll show you how to make even more than that. And I'm also going to show you how to have perfect survey scores and the highest customer retention possible, because that's what I do. Before I get into this week's podcast, I want to point out that the set here, for those of you watching on video, is a little bit different, and that's because I'm filming a ton more content for you guys. I'm filming a whole bunch for my DVD sets, my online training, my regular training, writing new books, and all kinds of stuff, and it just takes too much time to tear the set down and build a new one every time I want to do a new video. So we're just going to film them this way for the next few weeks, and so thank you for your patience on that. So, back to this. All right, so we're going to focus on closing this week, and the reason we are is because in talking to a lot of you, I'm starting to understand, and I've known this for a long time, so it's not like it's a new revelation for me, but I find that most service advisors truly don't understand closing on service drives. Most of them only focus on one area of the close, and that is asking for the money. And it is an important area of the close, and it's one of 6 areas you have to close the customers on, but it's just that, one of 6. And the other 5 largely go unnoticed, and therefore you leave a lot of money, survey score, and customer retention on the table. So let's take a look this week at these 6 areas of closing so you can start to perfect your craft and maximize the opportunity you have. 6 areas of closing. Number 1, you got to close them on getting them in. You can't sell them anything if you can't get them in. So when they call in and they're asking questions about what it is you do and how you do it, you're selling. You have to close them on coming in. Now, part 2 of number 1, okay, because in number 1 we're going to close them on coming in, but you can even take it a step further and close them on the day and time you want. What do I mean? Once you establish that you have what they need, you simply tell them, Mr. Customer, there's absolute no doubt that we can handle what you're looking for, and we're the absolute best place to do that. That being the case, I'm sure you're going to want to come to the best, so would coming in tomorrow or the day after that be better? All right, so I'm going to give them 2. I'm not just say, when do you want to come in, because that leaves them open to say, well, I don't know, maybe I'll see about it in the next couple of days or get back to you. Would you want to come in tomorrow or the day after that? Say I give them choices. Either way they answer, they're going to come in. And then I even take it further. So the day after, that's great. I have an opening for 8 or 8:15. Which works better for you? Why do I do that? Because I'm in control. I'm closing them on coming in. I'm closing them on the time to come in that's convenient for me in the shop, so I can spend the maximum amount of time with them and not rush them and be able to help them the most. So area number 1 of the 6 areas, close them on coming in. Close them on coming in and when they're coming in. Number 2, close them on allowing you to make a presentation. Now, this is an area that may or may not come up every time, but it is one that comes up more times than not. What do I mean? You get the customer to come in, you find out what their primary concern is. All right, so they're here. Hey, yeah, I'm here to get the tires. And as you're talking to them or you're doing your walk around, you find something else they need. And as you start to present it, they shut you down. Advisors, you've had this happen. Hey, Mr. Customer, I wanted to show you something here on your car that I think we need to take a look. Oh, you know what? The car probably needs a whole lot of things. Don't worry about that. Just address what I came in for, and if it needs other things, maybe I'll take a look at coming back later. Well, what they've just done is they've shut you down from making your presentation. And here's a basic selling fundamental. If you can't present, you can't ask for the money. So you always have to position yourself to be able to ask for the money. So how do you do that in that scenario? You close them on the idea of allowing you to make a presentation. Now, I have dozens and dozens of closes in that area. I don't have time to go into them now, but I would close them on the fact of allowing me to make the presentation right now. And they're very effective, and it works 99% of the time. So area number 1, sell them on coming in. Number 2, sell them on allowing me to make presentation. And then number 3, close them on what I find during my walk around and my check-in process. Now, let me explain, because it sounds like I'm talking about the same thing here. See, a second ago, I was going to try and close them on what I found in the walk around, but if they shut me down, I can't make the presentation. I have to sell them on allowing me to make the presentation. In the instance that I do my walk around and check in and they don't shut me down, now I need to close them on what it is I find right then and there. Now, this is a big mistake so many people make, and they waste so much time and cost themselves so many sales because they don't go for it right now when the customer's standing here on the obvious stuff. Now, I'm not talking about pushing them and twisting their arms and selling them stuff they don't need, but if you walk around a customer's car and see if they need tires, why, you use your tire tread depth and you know you need them, why wouldn't you ask for the cell now? This just happened to me. I took my car in because one of the tires had a nail in it. Knowing that it had a nail in it, I told my wife, I think the tire tread depth is right where I'm either going to need tires today or no more than a couple of months from now, so don't be surprised if they tell us we need tires. Well, I get to the place, and the guy, he says, what do you need? And I said, I got a nail in the back tire. He says, yeah, it looks like it. He said, I don't know if we can fix it or not. He said, well, let me see. Go ahead and sign here, release the car to me, we'll take a look at it. Well, he gets in the shop, technician takes a look at it, and then calls me back, and guess what I need? Tires. Well, the problem was they couldn't get a hold of me because I was in a meeting I didn't expect, so the car sits for 2.5 hours, which means they now have to take it off the lift, all right, work on somebody else's car, then get a hold of me and put it back on the lift. They're burning time, all right, they're burning time. If the guy would have just had the initiative to take a tire tread depth, I don't know if he owns one, and stuck each one of my tires and said, Mr. Customer, this one's got a nail in it, but you know what, Mr. Cowan? You can see here the tread depth's at a point where we need to replace the tires, so whether we can repair it or not, it's time for a new tire on this one. Let's see what the other three look like. Yep, this one needs a new one. Yep, this one. Looks like you need a new set of tires. He could have asked for the sale right then and there. I mean, why wouldn't you? Well, it's one of two or three reasons. Either A, the business owner doesn't care and hasn't trained their people. B, they have, but they don't have the leadership ability and what it takes to hold them accountable. Or C, the service advisor just doesn't want to do it. It's dumb, all right? So the first three areas, number one, close them on coming in. Number two, if they don't let me make presentations, close them on allowing me to make my presentation. Number three, what I find in my walk around and during the check-in process, close them on those sales, those obvious sales that they're seeing as we're doing it. Those are the first three areas. We got three more, but before we get into those, here's what I want you to do. I want you to dial 1-800-248-2931, 1-800-248-2931, or I want you to go to thejeffcowan.com, or not thejeffcowan, I want you to go to automotiveservicetraining.com, automotiveservicetraining.com, and I want you to register for one of my workshops. Now, these are coming up fast. I'm going to do one in Toronto. I'm going to do one in Atlanta. I'm going to do one in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm going to do one in Indianapolis, Indiana. They're 2-day workshops. You know, many of you call in and say, I want more content, I want more content. And I'm glad you're watching the podcast because I can give you 8 to 10 minutes, maybe as many as 15 minutes worth of content every week. You know, so over the next year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, you might get my whole program. But you don't have time for that. All right? This is your career. You want your service advisors to be the best they can be? Sign up for one of these workshops. You're an advisor and you want to come to one of these workshops, sign up for one of the workshops. You don't wait a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years to get all my content. I can give it to you over 2 days, my 2-day workshop. Sign up for these now. Atlanta, Toronto, Phoenix, Indianapolis, get signed up. I'm going to show you how to maximize your sales. I'm going to show you how to get perfect survey scores. I'm going to show you how to get customer retention above 85% within 9 months. It's a real deal. Quit playing around. Let's go. You can't make one of the workshops? Get my online training. Easiest way to train. 15 minutes a week. 15 minutes a week, my online training. You can maximize the opportunity. Buy my books. Try that. Have one of my trainers come into your store and stand side by side with you or your service staff, and we will show you 85% of the time we're in a dealership or on a service drive of any kind. 85% we're side by side with the advisors, coaching, critiquing, role-playing, and even writing service to show them how our processes work. Quit jacking around. If your numbers suck, they're going to continue to suck until you reach down in your pocket and buy training and prepare yourself for what you're doing. You can do that over the next 3 years. You can listen to my podcast and get it that way, but 3 years from now, how much money you can leave on the table? Come on, let's get serious about this. All right, back to what we're talking about. 6 areas of closing. Number 1, sell them on coming in. Number 2, sell them on allowing you to make a presentation if they shut you down. Number 3, close them on what you find when you do the walk around and through your check-in process. And then number 4, close them on the time needed while they're there on the drive in front of you. Now, what do I mean? You do that through managing the expectations. We've talked about this dozens of times on this podcast. What do I mean? Mr. Customer, since we've completed our walk around and completed the check-in process, and I've asked you all the questions based on what we've discussed and what we've seen, here's what I think is most likely to happen. You know, 50% of the time we get a vehicle like this in that needs these type of things, we're able to get it diagnosed, repaired, and back to you by the end of the day. However, sometimes we get in there, we find it's going to take a little bit longer, or that we don't have a need to part in stock, which may mean we have to keep the car overnight and finish the repair tomorrow. And even rare instances, if there's a part not in stock and it's on back order, meaning it may not be available for several days or a few weeks, it may require you pick the vehicle up and bring it back when the part arrives, and it will get it taken care of then. Unfortunately, at this point in time, I don't know where we stand until I get your vehicle in our state-of-the-art shop and our factory-trained technicians, our expertly trained technicians get an opportunity to look at it. Furthermore, I want to tell you this, it's 10 o'clock or it's 8 o'clock right now. You can see by looking over there, our shop is full. Everybody's working on our cars, so it's going to be at least 10 o'clock before I get your vehicle in the shop. Let's give them an hour to an hour and a half to get it diagnosed. So I'd say somewhere between, let's say 11:15, 11:45. Expect a telephone call from me with the updates and finding on your vehicle, and at that point in time, we'll know where we're going. That's how you sell them on the time. Okay, that's how you sell them on the time. So that's number 4. Number 5, close them on the inspection fines. Now the vehicle's in the shop, technician brings back the paperwork, now you close them on that area, and then finally number 6, you close them on coming back. Now that's done at the end of the delivery, where you basically ask them to come back in and go ahead and schedule the time now. We have several word tracks in that area, and if you want to get those word tracks, come to my workshop or call us up and invest in our training. I'll give you all the word tracks you want. I have hundreds of word tracks that fit all these situations. I have hundreds of word tracks for every one of these, well, not hundreds for every one of these situations, but I've got no fewer than 10 word tracks for each one of these situations, and some of these closing areas, I've got hundreds of closes for them. So again, when you're talking about closing, it's not just one area. It's not just about asking them for money. Okay? There's an old saying out there, always be closing, and it's really true here because there's 6 different areas. It's not just about asking for the money. It's, well, number 1, selling them on coming in. Number 2, close them on allowing you to present what you find during your walk around if they shut you down before you make your presentation. Number 3, if they don't shut you down, close them on what you found in your walk around and in your check-in process. Number 4, close them on the time needed, whether it's a few hours, a few days, or a few weeks. Number 5, close them on what you find after you inspect the vehicle. And then number 6, close them on coming back, setting up the date and time while they're here today. 6 areas of closing. You need word tracks. You need the closes for those. I've got those. You can continue to watch me over the next year and a half, 2 or 3 years, and I'll give you as many of those as I can. Or you can simply come to one of our workshops. That'd be the smart thing to do. Let's jump on this thing and become an expert right now. Invest in our videos, 15 minutes a week. We can get you all on training with testing out. We can get you set up there. But at some point in time, you're going to have to, keep listening to the podcast. I'll do as much as I can, but it's going to take a long time for you to get all the information you need. Best thing to do, invest in yourself. If you're a business owner, invest in your staff. I'm going to paraphrase him, but Benjamin Franklin said that the best investment one can make is in oneself. It pays the best interest. It pays the best interest. Certainly true here. Hey, my name is Jeff Cowan from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. I appreciate you listening and watching today. I invite you to come back next week and we have some more great stuff for you, just like I had here for you today. In the meantime, though, I want you to go out and I want you to work with as many customers as you can. I want you to close them in these 6 areas, and I want you to make a lot of money and take that money and live the lifestyle that you so deserve, because between now and next week, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Find a bunch of customers, sell them on my great products, and I'm going to take the commission and continue to live the lifestyle I've set up for myself, because I'm living a great life, and you can too if you invest in yourself, hold yourself accountable, and maximize your opportunity. Training will get you where you want to go, and training will keep you there once you get there. Nothing else will. Make it a great week. See you soon.